Jokic?
Who's your favorite James Bond?
Okay.
That's a good question. We're going to get into it. Sean Connery, David Niven, George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig, and who knows who's next. It could be...
You know what? Out of that whole entire list, the
Comment
one
below
guy
if you
that
know.
sticks out that I have no idea who they are is that David Niven guy. I have no idea who he is.
Magister
I heard the
Secret...
name.
Is that Majesty? No, it's Casino Royale. That's not a real
The
Bond
original.
film.
Oh no.
Oh,
That's a parody.
So this is like a parody. It's
Weird.
loosely based on the 1953 novel by first novel to feature. It stars as Sir James Bond 007, but
James Bond, huh?
it's really not. Dr. No is the first true James Bond movie.
So I remember as a kid, and this is like in the mid 90s, and I don't know if you guys remember TBS. If you had cable back in the day, TBS, the Superstation, on the weekends, they went through a whole Bond marathon. I guess they were prepping for GoldenEye release. And I remember, I think I was watching something else, and then the first Bond movie comes on. I just see the barrel scene at the beginning of the Bond film. And I'm
Classic.
like, what is this? And I kept watching. And that movie ended, the next one started. I'm like, oh crap, another one with the barrel. But you know what? That's how I kind of became a fan of James Bond. Was I had no idea what I was watching, and at first it started off with Sean Connery. Then I do recall seeing like George Lazenby, and I'm like, who is this guy? He doesn't look like James
on Her
Bond.
Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah, so I have the timeline pulled up right here. So Dr. No's the very first one, and of course that's Sean Connery. From Russia with Love.
Connery was the first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. No from Russia with... And by the way, Dr. No's where like... Dun, 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 dun. That's where that comes from. It's Dr. No's soundtrack is... Dun, 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 dun.
I remember from Russia with Love too. I remember Goldfinger, Thunderball.
Goldfinger, Thunderball. So Casino Royale. Casino Royale, what we pointed out was that's the first deviation. And so this is the end of the current run for Sean Connery at first, because it becomes Casino Royale and then You Only Live Twice, which is two new different Bonds. Casino Royale is not really considered a Bond movie. You Only Live Twice is, even though Casino Royale does have Casino Royale, it's later... I mean,
they remade it.
They remade it, and they made it Casino Royale.
Craig guy, right?
But it doesn't really count. But You Only Live Twice does count with George. You Only Live Twice. Wait, that
was a Sean Connery.
I like how we just jumped into this.
That's right in the middle of it, between and On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Oh my goodness! No wonder people were upset. On Her Majesty's Secret Service comes in George Lazenby, and it's a good picture. But
it was a one hit. It was just a one movie and out. Like I was surprised. Like they didn't keep George Lazenby after this. Sean Connery returned after this.
It's actually not a bad flick. I've seen all the Bonds recently. I got them all.
I don't really recall George Lazenby's performance, but I have seen in the comment section how people were saying that it was underrated. Like his performance was underrated.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but I think it's going to bring us to our favorite Bonds, because. Would any of you say Sean Connery is your favorite Bond? Because he's definitely
You know what? It's hard for me to pick a favorite out of all of them, because they all kind of brought something different to the table. It's like trying to pick your favorite kid. It is. And the reason I say is because Sean Connery was like that smooth, calm, and collective type.
And he's always
Roger Moore.
He is Bond in a way. Like
So and then Roger Moore,
to Live and Let Die.
Roger Moore had like those excellent one-liners. Like he might have been a little cheesy, but it's Roger Moore. He had those like one-liners that were kind of like a dark joke.
Roger Moore had some of those zinger one-liners. Absolutely. Spy Loved Me, Moonraker.
The Man with the Golden Gun was my favorite. The Man with the Golden Gun.
When he takes on
Scaramanga. Golden Gun's your favorite?
You know why?
When he takes on Scaramanga.
Because you had Christopher Lee playing as Scaramanga.
That was crazy.
Like,
Now I think might be the time for me to admit I've only ever seen one Bond movie in my entire life, and it's the one where Pierce Brosnan is fighting on a giant satellite dish.
Goldfinger.
Oh, that was GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Goldfinger. But here's the thing. So Roger Moore had like this excellent James Bond run, and I think a lot of people. It's always a debate between Sean Connery and Roger Moore.
Yeah.
But if you kind of look deeper, but a lot of people said Roger Moore was kind of more of a cheesy Bondish, but he was still Bond.
Yes, he was. But Connery was cheesy too.
Connery was cheesy, but Connery had that almost like that flair charisma type, like low key,
Connery had a roughness where I feel like Moore had a suaveness.
Yes. And you know what? And then we get to Timothy Dalton. He had those two films. The craziest thing is I remember as a kid, I didn't really like the Timothy Dalton. I mean, I don't know why as a kid.
The Living Daylights, right?
I really appreciate it though. I really appreciate it. And then I come to find out the guy that wrote the James Bond novels, actually, Timothy Dalton fits the description of what James Bond was supposed to be. If you ever get a chance to watch the Timothy Dalton Bond movies, they tend to be more serious. He's a more cold version of Bond, but that was what Ian Fleming wanted. That was like Timothy Dalton represents what Bond is from the novel perspective.
Have you seen this movie yet?
I have.
This is the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. You're talking about Ian Fleming. Well, guess what? He's in this film.
That was a good movie.
Right there. So let's see. Ian Fleming, Lieutenant Commander. Freddie Fox as Lieutenant Commander Ian Fleming. So this movie, to make long and short of it, is about a secret op that happened under back in World War II. Under Winston Churchill. And who was involved? None other than Ian Fleming. And also, Gus March Phillips is considered the inspiration for James Bond.
Hold on. So,
and he's played by Henry Cavill.
There's another.
Hope he becomes James Bond.
There's another fun side. So I saw this the other day. So Christopher Lee was actually in the SAS during World War II, and him and Ian Fleming, I think they're step cousins. Some people said that Ian Fleming got the inspiration as a Bond from Christopher Lee, or at least some of the stuff that he went through as an SAS operative during World War II.
Christopher Lee had to coach the director of Lord of the Rings, Stephen Jackson, about how to correctly stab a guy in the back and what it sounds like, because he knows.
There you go. See, so there you go. And Christopher Lee's an amazing actor. Like
I hope you understand. Christopher Lee put out a metal album in his 80s or 60s, 70s, something. But yeah, that exists.
One of the greatest things about having Christopher Lee play Saruman,
so it's crazy.
He was a phenomenal actor. Is that he had so much expertise
this man got the training from
so many areas
how to do that from World War II.
The actual film.
Okay, so hold on. You guys are putting
Professor Tolkien. But in the scene where he gets killed, Peter Jackson initially wanted him to make a bit of a scream when he gets stabbed. But Christopher, having been in both World War II and worked with the British Secret Services, he knew that that's not how it sounds if you get stabbed.
So I started to go into this long explanation about what sort of sound he should make when he got stabbed.
Christopher Lee was like the real life James Bond, basically.
Of what kind of noise happens when somebody's stabbed in the back? And I said, well, because I do.
I
like that.
It's not like that.
I like that. It's
oh my god.
Man, that man's a legend. I don't care what anybody says. That man's a legend.
Legendary.
I know what. Okay, so you got Timothy Dalton, then you got the cool calm collective Pierce Brosnan. I love GoldenEye, but I just think that the after GoldenEye, the Pierce Brosnan James Bond films just kind of sucked. They were too over the top for me.
How could they suck? They had Halle Berry in one of them.
It became too over the top for me. And then Daniel Craig basically became what Timothy Dalton was. That's why I say Timothy Dalton was way ahead of his time, because Daniel Craig plays like a very cold, cold Bond that seems like he's fighting demons. Basically, what Timothy Dalton did with those two films.
I really do. I would say he's probably my second or third favorite Bond. It is that actor. Quantum of Solace, love. Skyfall, amazing. Spectre,
was
good. I love Casino Royale. The funny thing is the bads for Skyfall and for Spectre, some of the best bads. Javier Bardem, for Skyfall, and then you have what's his face
I know
from
Queen,
from Quentin Tarantino's favorite movie.
No, it was also the guy that played Eddie, not Eddie,
Christoph Waltz.
Freddie Mercury. Yeah, you had him, and you had the guy that played Freddie Mercury in The Queen.
Wow.
Oh, the Mr. Robot guy.
Ralph Fiennes in
He's
this.
in Until Dawn.
James Bond definitely pulls off some excellent actors. And by the way, Daniel Craig in real life, I have a friend who knows a friend. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. Absolutely awesome.
All right, so you guys have avoided the question.
Married to Rachel Weisz. Great lady. Remember her from The Mummy?
Like I said, I can't pick one because they all kind of have its own unique place in my heart. Like Sean Connery kicked it off for me. Roger Moore made me laugh at some dark jokes.
There's got to be another Bond soon too. Look at this gap.
There got to be another Bond film. I'm waiting for the guy whoever becomes Bond next.
Henry Cavill. That's my vote.
I want to see. Chalamet. I want to see the freaking barrel again with the guy walking across and the classic.
Are you reading what I'm pointing out? I was just saying Gus March Phillips is the inspiration for James Bond, which Ian Fleming knew Gus March Phillips. He died during World War II.
Yep.
And Henry Cavill played him in the movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is, by the way, fun little popcorn movie. Recommend checking it out, on a Friday night with some popcorn.
Alan Richardson was funny as hell in that movie.
Dude, he was sick. He's American. I was like, this guy's American? Yeah. He's an amazing actor. He was killing it. Alan Richardson.
Isn't that Superman?
Alex Pettyfer was only
He did Blue Mountain State.
Isa Gonzalez killed it as Marjorie Stewart. Babs was fantastic as her friend Richard. Carrie Owl, when Carrie Owles was there, I was
you don't know who Carrie Owl?
You know Carrie Owles. He's literally
Robin Hood,
Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Princess Bride.
Okay. I didn't know that's who that was.
This movie is sick. This movie is sick. I highly.
All right, so hold on.
Fun movie.
Before we end the segment, which I love that we went on this James Bond just out of nowhere. What movie would you recommend to me? A guy who is, let's say, I've never seen any because I don't remember anything except for the satellite dish.
Okay.
From the movie I saw.
I will probably give you 5 movies. I'm sorry, because I can't pick a favorite. I'll pick one from each actor that you should check out. If it's Sean Connery, I think you got to start off with Dr. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I was gonna say that. Yes.
If it's Roger Moore. Okay. So if it's Roger Moore, you got to go with the man with the golden gun.
Okay.
All right. Timothy Dalton. I think it was License to Kill. That's probably the one you'll check. And then Pierce Brosnan, you got to go with GoldenEye. GoldenEye is that's a movie that made Pierce Brosnan. And then Daniel Craig. I think Daniel Craig. What are you thinking, James? Casino Royale?
I don't know how you don't watch the first 3, right? So
he said the first 3.
You know what?
So Dr. No from Russia with Love, which by the way, people, you might maybe take a break, like if you need to take a break during From Russia with Love, but get through From Russia with Love, and then Goldfinger and Goldfinger. So start there.
Goldfinger brought the classic. Scene where they got James Bond tied to the table and they're putting that laser and the guy's like, James Bond is like, do you expect me to talk? And the guy's like, straight up says, "No, I expect you to die."
I expect you to die. So Thunderball.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to. Simpsons parodied it so much too. Thunderball, it's skippable, and so is Octopussy, which is Thunderball 2.
Oh, is that the one with they go to space?
No,
Yeah,
Octopussy and Thunderball
Moonraker was the
are
one.
the same.
Moonraker was the one.
Are basically the same movie. They're just like underwater. You see, pick one of them, and it's like kind of like filler Bond.
Moonraker is kind of like one that I would probably.
Essential Bond though is definitely, I would say, Dr. No from Russia and Goldfinger. That's essential Bond. Thunderball you could skip. Casino Royale from '67 you could skip. You Only Live Twice. You might need to pop that one in.
Yeah. I
James
think I remember seeing that.
To watch every single one.
No,
of them.
I'm not. I think You Only Live Twice is one you might have to pop in because it's fantastic. It's another good one. It's Honor Majesty Secret Service is skippable, but I'm telling you. All right, so skippable. Thunderball, Casino Royale from '67, skippable. Honor Majesty Secret Service, Diamonds Are Forever is almost skippable. If you're already Sean Connery'd out, Diamonds Are Forever.
You can skip it.
It is skippable. Don't skip the song. Don't skip the intro song. Diamonds Are Forever.
Forever. Yep. Every Bond movie has an intro song.
It might be it's top 5 as far as songs, but the movie itself is Live and Let Die. You must see.
That had an amazing song.
Oh, it's Paul McCartney. It's a Beatle.
Yes.
Live and let die.
That's what that song is from?
It's literally what the song's from. Live and let die.
I first heard that when Alice in Chains, or not Alice in Chains. Guns N' Roses covered it.
Man with a Golden Gun, I'm going to say it's skippable. However, DPG will say it's not.
Yeah,
I would say pick one between Live and Let Die or Man and the Golden Gun, and you'll love either one. Like,
so if you played GoldenEye back in the day, have you played GoldenEye and multiplayer back in the day on Nintendo 64? Oh my god! As soon as somebody got the Golden Gun, everybody freaking bricked it out of there. Like everybody ran away from the man with the Golden Gun because it was a one-shot kill. He could shoot you in the arm and you died. You know,
that's hilarious. All right, gentlemen, I think we need to get back to soccer on our soccer podcast. So let's take a break here.
All right. Let's take a look. This is the community-led tier list. This is not us. So we'll end here. So they say that essential viewing is Goldfinger, Casino Royale, From Russia with Love. Oh, that's right. Skyfall, which is the new actor.
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
I'm sorry. And what is this? I can't tell what that is. The first James Bond. That's Dr. No. And then on Her Majesty's Secret Service, they're saying is Masterpiece. I was not putting it up there. So
basically, everyone has a different opinion on all of this.
Yes. I would put GoldenEye in Masterpiece. Yes.
GoldenEye was like. See how many Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies are in the bottom because they're shit.
Yeah,
but the only good one was
GoldenEye.
So the one good one was God tier, and the rest were just garbage.
Pretty much for Pierce Brosnan, even though he's my favorite Bond. Like him as Bond, he's the quintessential Bond. It's the story. All right, there is one good story when where's that super hot chick who's secretly dating the guy with the bullet break going into his brain, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Right? That's not Christmas Jones. That's different. But that one was really good. Maybe that's Tomorrow Never Dies. No, that's Tomorrow Never Dies is when he's going against going against the news journalist.
They put
on a nuclear sub.
They put A View to Kill on Man. That's the one with Christopher. That's the one with Christopher Walken as the bad guy. And they got the blimp.
This is This is a tier. This is a community. See, that's the thing. Sometimes community tier list and individual tier list can differentiate right there, and that's what makes it so fun. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite bonds are. We want to hear at least your top 5. If you want more, let us know. And what's your bottom 5 too? What's the worst bonds?